What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to the Steel Curtain Call, a show here on the YouTube or the Facebook, depending on where you view us from, dedicated completely to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I am your host. My name is Patrick. Thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. I really appreciate it. And remember, if you view us on Facebook, like the Facebook page, and if you're watching on the YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit that big subscribe button. That's really going to make me happy. All right, guys, short week this week. We are right back at it on Thursday Night Football this week to take on the Tennessee Titans at Heinz Field, and we're wearing the good old color rush uniforms, baby. I don't know what the general consensus is among Steelers Nation. I feel like it's pro color rush uniform than not. I'm in love with the color rush uniforms, the black on black. I think it is straight fire. My favorite uniforms are the traditional black jerseys, yellow pants, white jerseys, yellow pants, but I do love these things. And one of you fine citizens of YouTube out there, one of you needs to get a petition going so we can wear these things more. I feel like these uniforms are way too fire to be worn only on a special color rush game or just a special Christmas Day game. We need to get these guys in these uniforms at least twice a year, I feel like. Now, right down to brass tacks tonight. We're wasting no time. We're getting right down to it. We take on a very formidable 6-3 Tennessee Titans team. The Titans are kind of a weird team. They remind me of the Steelers in a lot of ways because they're 6-3. They have a very solid winning record. We're 7-2. We're not too far from them. But they're a horribly flawed football team, much like us. But at the end of the day, no matter how much you complain, they're getting the job done. They're winning more games than not. They've laid some major eggs this year. They've won some games that they probably should have won by more points. Where have we seen that before? But at the end of the day, they're getting the job done, and that's really all that matters. So they are a formidable team. Now, they're also a little more formidable playing the Steelers because they've got members of that coaching staff who know the Steelers very well. Head coach Mike Mularkey, former offensive coordinator for the Steelers, and the legendary Dick LeBeau. And that right there is key to victory number one for me personally. I don't know about you guys, but key to victory number one is outsmarting the man who in many ways is the very architect of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, the legendary Dick LeBeau. Dick LeBeau is, he's a legend on this football team. We all know him. We all still love him. I still love Dick LeBeau. I like the work that Keith Butler's doing, but man, I still love Dick LeBeau to death. And he's kind of a father figure to many of the members of this defense, even some of the members of the coaching staff as well. Dick LeBeau touched this franchise in many ways. And now he is a member of the Tennessee Titans coaching staff, and he is bringing that legendary 3-4 blitz-heavy defense to Tennessee. You're seeing the fruits of his labors over there in Tennessee this year. Really miss that guy. I really do. And kind of going back to the whole architect of the defense saying, you know, Keith Butler has done a good job of making this defense his own. We're seeing more sub-package football out of the Steelers defense. We're seeing less zone coverage and more man-to-man coverage. You're even seeing some different pressure packages. But guys, as a whole, let's not fool ourselves. This defense is still very much the defense of Dick LeBeau. So that to me is one of the biggest keys to victory in this game. The Steelers are going to have to outsmart the guy who in many ways built this defense, and he knows this offense like the back of his hand. He knows Ben Roethlisberger well. He knows what Ben's comfort zones are, what Ben's comfort zones aren't. So the Steelers are really going to have to try to outsmart him in this game, I feel like. Now, we also talked about the particular defense that Keith Butler likes. He likes the 3-4 base defense, and he likes to pressure a lot. And the Tennessee Titans, they have got some bruisers in their pass rush. Two guys that absolutely terrify me are Brian Orakpo and Derek Morgan. Brian Orakpo is just an animal of a football player. He's a relentless pass rusher who uses brute force and very sound technique to get after quarterbacks. He's been very effective with it. He was effective on the Redskins. He's now effective with the Tennessee Titans. He only has 2 sacks on the year. Don't let that fool you, though. If you watch the guy on tape this season, he's getting consistent pressure. Just the sacks aren't adding up. And then a guy who scares me even more than Brian Orakpo has got to be Derek Morgan. Derek Morgan, a couple of years ago, there were some rumors flying around that the Steelers might try to go after him. That was probably, I'd say, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, I feel like. He's still with the Titans today. But the thing about Morgan, he is really big and he's really fast. He already has 5 sacks on the season. He terrifies me. So when you take those two guys and then you think about Dick LeBeau's overall blitz-heavy defense, the Steelers' offensive line is going to have a very, very tough time in this game. They need to be prepared. I think the next big key to victory for me is the Steelers' passing attack. Now, Todd Haley has a big opportunity to redeem himself in this matchup. Going back to the Indianapolis Colts game, they were ranked 31st in the NFL in total pass defense. The Titans are not ranked 31st, but they are ranked 20th. They're not as bad as the Colts, but they are pretty bad. Their secondary has given up a lot of big plays this year. Now, don't get me wrong. They've got some good guys in their secondary. They've got rookie Adoree Jackson, who, by the way, former teammate of Juju Smith-Schuster. And they've also got former New England Patriot Logan Ryan, who I'm a big fan of Logan Ryan. Personally, Logan Ryan is one of my favorite corners in the National Football League. I love how physical he is. I love how he plays football. I think he is one of the best overall corners in the NFL, to be completely honest with you. I didn't say he was the best. I just think he's up there, probably top 5. So, yes, they do have those guys. They've got some talent back there, but overall, this secondary has really, really struggled this year. Like I said, they've given up a lot of big plays. So, Todd Haley, you have a second chance to redeem yourself. You can come out in this game with a better game plan. They are vulnerable in their secondary. You don't have to have a safe, conservative attack. You can attack this secondary. Now, here's the thing, though. It's kind of a two-edged sword. Remember, this is Dick LeBeau we're talking about. So, like I said, he knows Ben Roethlisberger very well. If you had to ask me, Ben Roethlisberger has struggled in the past against cover 2 defenses and bracketing type of coverage. He's always thrown a lot of interceptions when defenses play in that type of coverage. I would like to think that Dick LeBeau knows this very well, so I expect the Titans to come out playing a lot of that in this game. But either way, this secondary is vulnerable, so I do think the Steelers will be able to attack them there. And here's the thing, I think the Steelers are going to have to come out with a decent game plan to pass the football, because the Titans right now are ranked 6th in the NFL overall in rush defense. Now, it's also worth noting the last time these two teams played, Le'Veon Bell did have 200 yards rushing on the day. So I'm not saying cut his carries. I mean, he could very well go over 200 again in this game. I think he should get the ball 25 to 30 times again. I'm just saying it would not surprise me if Dick LeBeau has a very solid game plan for him. Defensive keys to victory. It all starts with Marcus Mariota. Now, here's the thing. Marcus Mariota coming into this game is a little banged up. He's got a shoulder injury. He also kind of has an ankle injury. I believe he had a mild ankle sprain after the game they had against the Bengals on Sunday. But either way, this is still Marcus Mariota we're talking about. Now, when you look at the numbers, he's thrown 7 touchdowns this season and 6 interceptions. So number-wise, you're thinking, oh, this guy's going to be easy. I'm not really going to let those numbers get to me. Marcus Mariota is a dual-threat quarterback, and guys, if you know anything about the Steelers, they have struggled in the past greatly with dual-threat mobile quarterbacks. It's also worth noting that he is completing 64% of his passes right now, and this is something about Marcus Mariota that I think kind of puts him away from like the rest of dual-threat quarterbacks. Dual-threat quarterbacks tend to be very inconsistent passers. You know, you look at Cam Newton. Cam Newton will have a game where he is outstanding, and then he'll come out the next week and throw 5 interceptions. Mariota, on the other hand, tends to be a cleaner passer. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes. He's very good with his overall completion percentage, as we just talked about. He makes good decisions. He's a lot better passer than most of the mobile quarterbacks. And it goes without saying the guy can make plays on his legs. If you give this guy any kind of separation, any kind of space, he is going to be off to the races. Now, I'm just going to tell you what I would like to see and what I think we will see. If the Steelers are smart, I think they will come out in this game and blitz a lot. And I'm talking about 4 5-man pressures. Personally, I don't think we'll see that. Now, they should do that because the Steelers are better when they blitz a lot, but also Marcus Mariota is weak. He's banged up in this game. The Titans' O-line's been a little iffy this season as well. The Steelers should bring a lot of pressure in this game. Now, me personally, I don't think Keith Butler's going to do that. Because of the dual-threat nature of Marcus Mariota, I think what we're going to see is probably a lot of 3-man blitzes in this game. And like I said, I certainly hope I'm wrong, but I really think you're going to see a replay of the Detroit Lions game. Matthew Stafford's kind of a dual threat type of quarterback, not as much as Mariota, but Stafford can scramble and make plays on his legs a lot like Mariota, and the way that Keith Butler decided to tackle that game was by rushing 3 primarily all game. Mariota's a little more mobile, so I think because of that, he'll probably rush 3, primarily drop 8 into coverage. Like I said, I hope I'm wrong. I think blitzing's a smart move, but I fear we're going to see a lot of 3-man stuff. Now, the Titans' offense primarily thrives off of their run game, and they've got 2 very capable running backs in Derrick Henry and DeMarco Murray. Both of those running backs, by the way, are averaging over 4 yards per carry on the season, both. Now, you've also got to throw in Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson has kind of been the Titans' version of Tyreek Hill in a lot of ways. Maybe that's not the best comparison, but they do get him in on some of these rush plays. And then you factor in Marcus Mariota, who he can run any day of the week. So you've kind of got a 4-headed rushing attack with the Tennessee Titans here. So the Steelers, I have confidence in their rush defense. I really do, but they're going to have to be extra careful in this game. And last but not least, I think another big key to victory for the Steelers in this game is their secondary is going to have to hold up. Luckily, we aren't playing the best receiving core in the National Football League. I don't mean to take anything away from them. They do have, good weapons, but this isn't the most outstanding receiving core in pro football. However, though, we tend to be banged up in our secondary right now. Joe Hayden is down. Mike Mitchell is most likely going to be down. I know Mike Tomlin said he has a chance to go. I don't see how that's possible at this point. Mike Mitchell's probably going to be down. So it's going to be up to guys like Cody Sensabaugh, former Tennessee Titan, by the way. Going to be up to Cody Sensabaugh. Going to be up to J.J. Wilcox, Rob Golden to get the job done. So I'm going to be looking at this secondary very, very closely in this game. And I think if you're the Titans, the Steelers are weak in their secondary right now. I expect a pass-heavy attack from them. I think the Titans know that the Steelers are very good against the run, and I think there's going to be a surprising amount of pass plays from the Titans in this game. I think they're going to test that Steelers secondary. So guys like Wilcox, Golden, Sensabaugh, they're going to have to be ready. In terms of their receiving threats, the guy that comes to mind right away is Delanie Walker. Now, Walker comes into this game a little beat up as well, kind of like Mariota. He kind of got a little injury in that Bengals game, but he is cleared and he is ready to go for this Thursday game. But Delanie Walker quietly over the last, I would say, last year and in this year, he's kind of quietly solidifying himself as one of the best overall tight ends in football. He's not the tallest tight end in football, and he's also about 105 years old, but the guy is a very, very good route runner. He's a very good pass catcher. Remember, he went to the Pro Bowl last season, and very much like mobile quarterbacks, another thing that the Steelers have struggled with in the past is very good tight ends. Delanie Walker is a very good tight end, so the Steelers are going to have to watch him very closely. Then you got Corey Davis. I know Corey Davis has not had the year that we all thought he was going to have. He's really hasn't had a good year at all. He's been very, very quiet, but then again, he is a rookie, so you can't criticize him too much. But Corey Davis is still Corey Davis. He's very big. He's very fast. Remember, he's the NCAA's all-time leader in reception yards. And just because he has not had a big game yet does not mean he can't have one in this game. And remember, we do have a banged-up secondary. So I'm going to watch him very closely. And, of course, you got Eric Decker. Eric Decker is a very, very capable wide receiver. He's a veteran. This isn't his first rodeo, so the Steelers need to minimize him as well. And I think that's going to do it for my biggest keys to victory. I'd like to hear from you guys. What do you guys think the biggest keys to victory are for the Steelers in this game? I very much am of the mind of Ben Roethlisberger. I really don't like Thursday night football games. I think it's hard on NFL players. You get banged up on Sunday, and then you get right back at it a couple of days later on Thursday. I don't think it's very safe for NFL players. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, you get extra days of rest because you don't have to play Sunday. I don't really know if the ends justify the means. I don't really know if we're talking about the same differences. Football is a very physical, very tough sport. It's hard on athletes. And then to just throw them right back out there in the fire a couple of days later, I think the NFL needs to get rid of Thursday night football. But it is what it is. No use crying over spilled milk. We have to play Thursday. We have to beat Tennessee. Overall, I think the Steelers should win this game. We do have the better team, even though the Titans are 6-3, even though I do believe they are formidable, and even though we are playing Dick LeBeau, I still think the Steelers should come out with a W in this game. And I think that's going to do it for this preview show, guys. Remember to subscribe to us on YouTube. Remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at SCurtainCall33. And like I said, guys, I want to answer your questions here live on show, so email the steelcurtaincall33@gmail.com, and I will answer your questions right here on the show. All right, guys, that's it for us tonight. We will see you guys here on, I think we'll try to get this recap out of the way Friday. If not Friday, most definitely Saturday. We're not going to let it stretch out too long, but we will see you when we see you. Good night. Here we go, Steelers. Beat the Titans.